Hello, children. Today let us learn the poem When I Set Out for Lyonnesse, written by Thomas Hardy. Thomas Hardy was a British poet and novelist. When Thomas Hardy was young, he worked as an architect. An architect is one who designs buildings and also supervises their construction. So he once visited a parish to supervise the restoration of a church. You can see the picture of that church. This church was in a very poor condition. An architect named John Hicks was asked to draw up plans for the restoration of the church. Restoration means the action of returning something to its former condition. But unfortunately, John Hicks died before the restoration work could begin, and the task of overseeing the restoration work fell upon Thomas Hardy, who was his assistant. It is said that on his return from the parish, people noticed two things about Thomas Hardy: a new glow in his eyes and a crumbled piece of paper sticking out of his coat pocket. That paper contained a draft of a poem inspired by his visit to a place which the poet calls Lyonnesse. Now let me recite the poem. When I set out for Lyonnesse, 100 miles away, the rime was on the spray, and starlight lit my lonesomeness. When I set out for Lyonnesse, 100 miles away. What would be chance at Lyonnesse, while I should sojourn there? No prophet does declare, nor did the wisest wizard guess what would be chance at Lyonnesse, while I should sojourn there. When I returned from Lyonnesse with magic in my eyes, all marked with mute surmise, my radiance rare and fathomless, when I returned from Lyonnesse with magic in my eyes. Now let me explain the poem for you. The first stanza. When I set out for Lyonnesse, 100 miles away, the rime was on the spray, and starlight lit my lonesomeness. When I set out for Lyonnesse, 100 miles away. In the first stanza, the poet tells us that he once visited a place called Lyonnesse. It was located 100 miles away. He then talks about the climate. He says that it was very cold and there was frost, that is, small ice crystals, on the leaves and branches. It was winter season. It was a lonely path, and the stars in the sky were his only companion. Second stanza. What would be chance at Lyonnesse, while I should sojourn there? No prophet does declare, nor did the wisest wizard guess what would be chance at Lyonnesse, while I should sojourn there. In the second stanza, the poet says that he was not sure about what would happen or what situation he would have to face during his stay at Lyonnesse. The poet then goes on to say that even a prophet or a wizard would not be able to guess what would happen to the poet during his stay at Lyonnesse. A prophet is a person who is believed to have a special power of knowing about things that will happen in the future. And a wizard is a magician. So, the poet tells us that even a prophet or a wizard would not be able to guess what would happen to the poet during his stay at Lyonnesse. The third stanza. When I returned from Lyonnesse with magic in my eyes, all marked with mute surmise, my radiance rare and fathomless, when I returned from Lyonnesse with magic in my eyes. In the last stanza, the poet says that when he returned from Lyonnesse, everyone noticed a glow in his eyes. They didn't speak a word, but all could understand that the poet was filled with a rare and immeasurable glow. The glow in his eyes was so deep that it could not be measured. Now let's identify pairs of rhyming words. First stanza, away, spray. Lyonnesse, lonesomeness. Second stanza, there, declare. Lyonnesse, guess. Third stanza, ice, surmise. Lyonnesse, fathomless. Here are the meanings of a few difficult words. Thank you for watching this video. Like, share, subscribe and comment for suggestions.